Hello and welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious the Nerd Podcast, and we are live on YouTube bringing you another edition of Week in Geek. And today my co-hosts are David Cochran and Jeremy Darr. And don't forget to check out some of our other episodes. We have our continuing coverage of Daredevil Born Again, Avengers Doomsday, and our most recent episode is another comic talk with Illuminati. So check them all out for us. And of course, don't forget to check us out on social media at Why So Sidious Pod on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. So let's get into the news. I know we had an Avengers Doomsday episode recently that I wasn't on, but there are some more news leaks spilling out afterwards. So there are some new details from Kevin Feige himself. So I know we speculated kind of how things would shake out with all the casting, the different teams that are going to be in this movie. So he says that the Avengers, Wakandans, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and the original X-Men will all fight Doctor Doom. And the entire cast hasn't been yet to be revealed. So how do you guys feel about that? That everyone will be going up against Doctor Doom? JD, you're muted.
What do you think about this, Lub? Climactic ending scene of Doomsday, Avengers in between Doctor Doom and Loki, and he needs to get Loki, and he's going to win somehow, and that's when he's going to rip his spine out like he did Thanos. But doesn't that seem, that kind of seems maybe
you really
possible.
Want to see Loki die again?
I just think that's where it's going. Somebody's spine is getting ripped out. We know it.
Yeah, someone needs to die, but I feel like Loki, I don't even like that he was casted for this movie. I feel like his story could have been left alone to where... Or maybe he's just like an ominous figure. I know he's very important.
It seems
he has
that
a very
way.
important role when it comes to the time and everything, but I feel like he's just a very complicated character now.
It is so complicated, which is annoying. But tell me, that seems like what Doctor Doom's going to need to grab. He's going to have to grab those strings and wrap them up and wear them like a necklace and become Emperor God Doom. He doesn't have to... Anyway, Dave, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I'm sticking with my theory on that as well. Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see... Maybe again, I think I would say maybe Strange is there because of the comic event. Strange was there when Molecule Man and the Boom Bang into Emperor God Emperor. So yeah, I think that makes total sense. I think it fits perfectly with Loki being there. That's Doom's route to being the God Emperor is through the God of Time. So I think JD, the first time I had heard of that, you mentioned that during the Doomsday episode about like everybody. Or, our team standing between Loki and Doom trying to protect Loki. So I could see that being the case. If not, I guess they'll face off elsewhere. I figured that would happen. I just kind of figured that'd more so be a part of the Secret Wars plot where everybody is going at Doom. But obviously Doom's got to win. So they were going to be fighting Doom regardless. But part of me was hoping those old X-Men would for some reason be like being puppeteered by Doom and fighting against our Avengers, and we get the low-key Avengers versus X-Men or something like that.
Right.
But I just hope there's a little bit more complexity to the movie than however many we got, like 27 cast members released there, and they're still not all the way released. Just, not a ton of people just running up and fighting Doom. I'm imagining there's going to be more intricacies that goes on with the plot itself.
Of course.
But overall, it's not that big of a surprise, I guess.
Well, even like in Age of Ultron or whatever, when Thor first meets the Avengers, they fight at first, and then he joins them. So it's going to be a kind of thing where, it's
Avengers, you idiot. The first one, right? What are we doing?
Oh,
Correct.
My bad.
It is.
Anyways.
But, the first act could still involve the X-Men and the Avengers kind of fighting each other, and then they come to a conclusion to where we shouldn't be fighting each other, we should be fighting this greater evil.
So what Dave was saying last time, and I wasn't into it, Avengers vs. X-Men, and now I'm really thinking Doctor Doom is manipulating the X-Men like Dave said, and that is the final issue the first issue of Secret Wars is the last battle of the two universes before it becomes Secret Battleworld, not Secret Battleworld, Battleworld. And now I'm thinking Doom is manipulating the X-Men, and that is our Ultimate Universe that the 616 is going to have to face off at the very end. Because both universes think their universe is going to die, so they're both going to want to kind of fight off the other guys because they both probably have, maybe a planet-killing device for the other planet, which is a moral conundrum there, but they have to do it to save their universe. But it's got probably the X-Men is probably going to be that last conflict right there, and that would be badass. With all those cast members, I think you're right about that.
It would be crazy. It would be crazy. And again, it'd be a nice little fourth send off for however many times we've sent these characters off for our little say goodbye to them. Oh, they're back again. Maybe we just kill them. Maybe the Avengers just end up killing them in this fight, and now they're really gone for good. I don't know. But send them off.
Well, I bet you. I mean, some of them will show up in Secret Wars, and some of them will definitely die. Some of them will make it on the life raft, dude. That's it.
Straight up.
Certain X-Men will have a bridge or a life raft to make it over there. Oh, yeah, how about this one, though? Do you guys think that Doctor Doom's universe, wherever that may be, do you think that he will have a Tony Stark in his universe, an Iron Man?
And it's Tom Cruise. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, I heard a theory recently that like Tony Stark has been in a variant of Doctor Doom all along, to where that's how they're going to tell the story, to where Tony Stark in a different universe is Doctor Doom, or that's how they tie it together.
Interesting.
That would be weird. I don't like that, because if it's a Tony Stark variant, it's not Victor Von Doom, because that wouldn't be a variant of the same person. And if they do that, if he just calls himself Doctor Doom but his name is Tony Stark or something, I'm not going to be that
right. That would be kind of dumb.
So I'd prefer we get Victor.
It would be ridiculous. Not likely, but let's say Tony Stark, when we talked about this with the Illuminati, because someone had a comment about the anchor being situation, which we haven't even talked about how that might play in. Mm-hmm. What if Tony was the anchor being? And it's stupid and comic-y, but sometimes people try to steal people's bodies and brains and have that body and that brain. Like Dr. Octopus did that to Peter. Red Skull did that to Professor X. What if Doctor Doom, wanting to save the universe so bad, the 616 is so important that he steals that body and then replaces the 616 anchor being to save the universe, and somehow saves the universe, but then puts himself on a throne after or whatever. But that's ridiculous, but that kind of makes sense with the anchor being crap.
I would appreciate that more than just a simple Tony Stark variant. I'd rather have that be the case.
That'd be crazy. Steals his body.
It would be pretty wild.
Pretty weird.
Dreamwalking into another body.
Yeah. That dude, wait, hold on. Great point. Dreamwalking, we already got introduced to that concept. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
There you go, it's there.
Anchor being is canon, though, right? Where was that introduced?
Well, Deadpool, so maybe not.
It was Deadpool, right?
Yeah, we talked about Nexus beings in WandaVision, where Wanda is a Nexus being. There are certain beings that are a constant only in that one universe, but the anchor being was introduced in Deadpool by Homeboy, the agent Paradox. So who knows if that's really canon?
TVA. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's semi-canon. Deadpool 3 was a little iffy.
It's probably the one word that they're going to use as canon. That's the one word
right
that makes that an MCU film.
Mm-hmm. Joe Russo says the upcoming Avengers films will draw on inspiration from both 1980s and the 2010 Secret Wars comic book series. But he says we always create our own version of the story. So of course we know with the Russo brothers, Infinity War and Endgame took a lot of inspiration from the comics, but put their own little twist on it. So JD, how do you feel about this, about them kind of just going back to their bag, going back to what they know best? I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah, I just fully trust them with their Marvel movies. Apparently their movies outside of Marvel kind of suck, but that doesn't even really matter to me.
Yeah.
They have made the best Marvel movies in 4 of them. So.
Yeah.
And not only that, but after Infinity War, they were pretty vocal about wanting to do specifically Secret Wars. So even when it was Infinity War time, they had something in their head, some kind of basic plan that I guarantee influenced their current plan. And what they say about RDJ and his death in Endgame actually playing a role into the Doctor Doom character, that's pretty weird. But it also, again, makes me feel like they have a plan. There's a reason why RDJ is Doctor Doom and not someone else.
They have to explain that.
That was surprising, though, that they said that the reason why they finally said yes to this was because RDJ came in and was telling them, almost sold them on the Doom character and running the Doomsday movie and everything, and then that's what, finally pushed them over, which is wild. So you have to wonder, okay, so RDJ is pretty passionate.
He must be a producer at the movie or something.
Yeah, there's got to be some stuff behind it. But I think that's good news. The fact that the lead role was that ambitious about it, they convinced the directors to really go all in on this movie. It was surprising to me, though. I don't know. I didn't expect.
Or Doolittle didn't do too well, so he had a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Lub. Would you be more excited? Denis Villeneuve has never done a Marvel movie, but he's done an amazing sci-fi movie or two.
Of course.
Would you be more excited if you learned that Avengers 5 was Denis Villeneuve, or are you happy with the Russo brothers? Because there's experience there.
I'm going to play it safe, and I would rather do the Russo brothers, honestly,
Really?
because I know that they've been successful with Infinity War and Endgame, two of the greatest
Yeah.
comic book movies
Yeah.
of all time. Like,
It's true.
Denis, I would rather see him, like, start a story
Yeah.
or, you know, like, get his own kind of thing going on. I feel like the Russo brothers are just too perfect for this, so I would take them.
Straight up. What about you, Dave? Do it. Take.
I kind of want to go Denis, just because he's
Yes!
such a.
That's crazy.
He's such
but I'm glad you did it.
He's just such a crazy filmmaker, and seeing the work he's done with Dune, seeing the work he's done with Blade Runner,
He could do it for sure.
other movies outside of that, and I just feel like it's such a special opportunity, and we already have 3 Russo brothers MCU movies, so it'd be a nice feather for, that's exactly what Civil War, damn it. I just think it'd be a nice little feather in the MCU cap there, and especially where this is like their big deal of, all right, we need to show that the MCU isn't just, we're not done, we're not doing the same repeat thing, so instead of having to go back to the Russos and having to be like, look, we keep not really hitting out of the park, let's go to the guys who's already done it multiple times. It'd be a big thing if there's like, they did it with somebody like Denis, they've kind of reset the MCU. This isn't the same old MCU, they're still putting out new creative stuff, they're still putting out new unexpected stuff, rather than going back to the well.
It's like
But
Brady going back to the Pats.
That's me having to be a devil's advocate a little bit on this, but yeah.
Yeah, but you say Denis doing the next Avengers movie like 3 months after Endgame, I'm all in. But you say he's doing it 5 years after Endgame, I'm like, maybe we should bring the Russo brothers back to get everyone back on the
In
bus,
like a
you know?
sketchy Marvel universe. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we need
It's a safer
Russo
move,
brothers.
for sure. Russo's 100% the safer move.
But it's such a worthy gamble there, because can you imagine that unique, like the way he used all the different technologies and ships and stuff, applying that to a Marvel universe would be pretty exciting.
Probably bring in a few cool cast members into the MCU who wants to work with Denis. Like, I don't know, there could be some cool stuff there. But again, I'm probably leaning 60-40 the Russos, but I gotta
Hell
bring
yeah,
a little
dude.
bit
That was
of-
good. Good argument.
Yeah.
So Vincent D'Onofrio says Kingpin can't appear in MCU films. I'm only usable for television shows, not even one-off Wilson Fisk movie. It's all cut up in rights and stuff. I don't even know when that would work out, or if ever it would work out at all. Which is kind of upsetting, because I know we wanted to see him kind of tie into the bigger picture in at least a Spider-Man movie. You know what I mean? So this is disappointing news. Dave, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was, are you kidding me? Are we still stuck in the Spider-Man contract deals? And which is obviously, he's mainly a Spider-Man villain, I think, more famously, more recently, I don't know. He's obviously a big staple in the Spider-Man universe. That's obviously got to follow that, because even Fox stuff, MCU has gotten the rights to, so it's got to be a Sony thing. But it is a bummer, because I didn't really consider that. I was thinking, we for sure could get Kingpin. He could pop up in Thunderbolts, and we could get that little thing, that theory we talked about, him being tied in with the homegirl who's running the Thunderbolts, and maybe he's kind of in this little corrupt plan. So it was a bummer. It was a bummer to hear. Again, thinking back, it's like, all right, Sony, I guess it makes sense, but it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, we kind of expected more. He feels more MCU now. Born Again's in the MCU now. The show itself feels more comic-y in MCU, and then you hear about him in the street level Thanos situation, and it all seems to be kind of like just down the toilet now. That's all right though. Good show. Bring on a good Daredevil show, a couple seasons.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, won't get greedy.
I agree with you on that, to where Born Again has made Fisk feel more MCU. Because I feel like in the Netflix series, he was kind of different, in the way where he's like the mayor of New York now. I could really see him popping up in an Avengers movie or Thunderbolts.
Yeah, there was like the Penguin back there in that show. It just didn't feel comic-y.
Mm-hmm. Right. So with the recent CinemaCon that came out, there was some Sony, our worst enemy, news. And Spider-Man 4 has been officially titled Brand New Day. So they have dropped the home word in every title. And it releases July 1st, 2026. So that's right after Doomsday. Right? 'Cause Doomsday is May, correct? So it's 2 months after Doomsday.
Yeah.
So obviously the entire cast hasn't been revealed for Doomsday yet, so I would definitely expect, I mean, Spider-Man has to be in that movie, right? And then
Doomsday?
yeah. And then leading after that. I mean, oh, that's true though.
Maybe
He's kind of,
not.
because if all this stuff's happening in Daredevil and his apartment's like a couple blocks away and he ain't doing nothing about it, so maybe he's just really laying low.
Yeah. It was something we kind of discussed, excuse me, in that Doomsday episode about, well, if Strange and Spider-Man aren't in this because they weren't listed during that cast announcement, maybe they're a part of the squad that has to roll in after our main guys have been defeated and kind of infiltrate their way into Battle World and be like, all right, what the hell happened here? Kind of like, I think Wolverine's kind of played that role in a lot of stuff. Hawkeye. Yeah, maybe he's a part of it. Dude, I hope he is. Jeremy better come back.
I saw a meme the other day where the Avengers are undefeated in Hawkeye movies.
Yeah, gotta have
so
the MVP,
if in Infinity War, Hawkeye isn't in it, and then there's there's another movie too where he's not in it and they lose, but it's basically where if Hawkeye's in it, they win.
Well, he was on the bad side. Well, no,
he's not.
He's switched.
No,
over
he's not in Doomsday. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah.
He's not in Doomsday, so it's like, okay, are they going to lose again because Hawkeye's not in Doomsday?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. So this whole thing about Spider-Man, the brand new Day title, my first thought is we're going to start getting titles with the name Day in it going forward instead of Home, because my brain went to the whole kind of infamous Spider-Man run One More Day, and I'm kind of hoping they're not going in that direction. I mean, some events that happen in One More Day already happened in No Way Home, and, you know, there are also kind of results from Civil War going on there and a bunch of stuff. So I don't think it makes sense to go to One More Day, but that's where my brain went with that when I heard that title.
Well, I mean, actually, One More Day. Which one is the one you mentioned? One More Day. What's the new one? Brand New Day is the new one. One More Day.
One More Day is the comic one. Which isn't that the one where May gets killed?
Right after May gets almost killed. Yeah, and Spider-Man has like his angry thing going on. Great. But no, One More Day. Yeah, he did that whole thing in Far From Home, and then but Brand New Day is the immediate successor there. Once he kind of made a deal with Mephisto, pretty much like
it's a run already. It's already titled Brand. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Not great. It's mixed because it's like a strange situation where there's a ton of different writers doing each issue. I've personally never read it. Bought 2 copies on eBay though. It's coming because it started selling on eBay real fast.
Okay. No,
When's
it's
it
not
from?
new. It came out over a decade ago, right?
Yeah, right after the JMS stuff, so right after Civil War era.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I read the first one and was like, what the hell's going on? It was a different art style. All of a sudden, because it erases stuff. He makes a deal with Mephisto so Aunt May doesn't die, and then it erases his relationship with MJ. They have this whole emotional moment where he's like telling MJ, which is kind of what we got, I guess, because MJ got Peter now. So that is another aspect of that story where he sacrifices his marriage with MJ to save Aunt May. And then all of a sudden the next issue is just like he's at a high school party with Harry Osborn, and it's a totally different art style that I hated. And I was like, what the hell just happened? And I didn't understand it was a whole reset.
But even in the comics, it was also for his identity because he was in Civil War and just revealed it to the public. So that was part of the deal. So no one knows he's Peter Parker anymore, just like the movies here. So spiritually, it's like a perfect successor. In the comics, it was like a new status quo, started back with classic, just fighting villains kind of stuff. Mr. Negative had his first appearance in Brand New Day. That's where he started. It makes me wonder if Mr. Negative might be the villain. But it is interesting. I think it's a perfect spiritual successor. It just needs to be better than the comics because it was really hit or miss. Some issues might have been some of the best, but some of them might have been trash.
I like it now a little bit more, though, because they have a chance to redeem that run. But it just makes sense, and it does. It lines up. So now my brain going to One More Day kind of makes sense, and I didn't even realize it when I was thinking of that. It's logically, it does. It makes sense.
It lines up.
And in the video game, Mr. Negative has been making some waves recently because of the PlayStation Spider-Man game. He was the main villain on there, and a lot of people have been talking about him lately. So I could for sure see him being a villain in here.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I'm excited for a potential classic Spider-Man versus a villain thing because Tom Holland's had great MCU movies, but they're very different. They don't really feel classic Spider-Man at all.
No.
So it's going to be nice to just see in New York, Spider-Man versus a villain, whoever it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if the title changed too, honestly, from Brand New Day to something else.
Yeah, they changed a lot of titles.
Does it now? Because JD just sold me on it. Now I like the title. So I hope it does it now?
And we also have Beyond the Spider-Verse, Part 2.
No, just Beyond the Spider. The last one was Across.
Across.
That's right. Sorry. It releases June 4th, 2027. So a year after and almost 2 years from now.
Bro, 3 years after the original release date. It was planned for summer of 2024 initially. That was the first $5 fine. That was the first time they announced when it would be coming out. Now we're in 2027.
But I'm still excited for it, man. That second movie was so good.
Yeah, it'll be sick.
You know, it's the most animated movie we watched in my house. We watch it. I think we watch it almost every day for my kids, and I really like it too. I'm totally fine with it, no complaints.
Oh
and
my god,
it's really cool. It's on almost every day. One of them, the first or the second one.
Nice.
Just hella creative, entertaining. It's just it's well done.
Yeah, I've liked it more and more. I'm starting to understand why people are putting it in their top 5 Spider-Man movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
I'm not saying it's in mine, but let's just move on from that.
Everybody settle down.
So we have one more Marvel topic. Fantastic Four director Matt Shackman says there are no other superheroes in their universe. There's no Easter eggs. There's no running into Iron Man or whatever. They're it. So I guess since they started, the movie starts in the 60s, correct? So they aren't going to have them in the 616 to begin with. So maybe, like we kind of predicted before, where there's a post-credit scene or the end of the movie has them ending up in whatever universe our heroes are in. So how do you guys feel about this? Because I feel like we kind of wanted to see maybe a Howard Stark or like a young Ant-Man. What's the guy's?
Hank Pym.
Hank Pym. Yeah.
I never thought of that. That'd be cool. Or
Right.
Namor. Namor was my big one because he was back there in the 50s, 40s with Captain America and the Fantastic Four in the comics. I don't know if the Fantastic Four is in there, but I'm a little bummed. Just a little bit. I'm fine if them wanting to just focus on the story. That's totally good. Just make a good movie, that's fine. But if you're in a different universe, I was kind of hoping to play around with a little bit of characters, but that's all right.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I think it makes sense, again, based on one of the kind of theories of the plot we read off before, with it being the case that they're actually not from the universe that they're in during this movie, and they actually got lost there right before the movie starts, and they're kind of figuring it out, but they also turn into these celebrity superheroes. So I think the whole plot is going to be them and Reed maybe building, whether it's the bridge or whatever he needs to build, trying to figure out how to get back to their original universe, and I think they will. But so it makes sense to me that this movie, they're in a strange universe. We're still getting to see Fantastic Four, Galactus, Silver Surfer, so we're still going to get a somewhat traditional Fantastic Four movie, but it's going to be them lost in another universe. So I don't mind it. If they do it right, I think I'm good with it.
Silver Surfer and Galactus are kind of exciting enough.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Let's go.
There's a lot of stuff there to sink our teeth into that, isn't a cameo for the sake of cameos. So I'm good with this one.
But they still need, I mean, with Avengers Doomsday coming out so soon and no movies recently really leading up to it at all, this movie does need to set things up. Because Captain America 4 didn't lead us to Doomsday at all. Thunderbolts, probably not going to tie into Doomsday at all. So
Hold the phone, maybe. We'll see. They got
Maybe.
something surprising coming, I think.
Maybe.
Something. Just a little something.
I mean, I wouldn't bet on it though. You know what I
wouldn't
mean?
Either. It's just grounded. It seems like a
So
grounded
Fantastic
story.
Four needs to set up Avengers.
I'm kind
in
of
a
pissed
way.
Doom's not the main villain, man. Kind of pissed Doom's not the main
I
villain.
disagree. I don't know that it needs to do that.
What's
Infinity
in between
War.
it though?
Nothing really led into Infinity War except for Thor's post-credit scene, where all of a sudden they got hit by this ship, and now Thanos and the Black Order and all this. Obviously, Thanos was slowly teased over time, obviously.
That's the one
Thanos
little
himself.
thing. Yeah.
But
Right.
other than that, the plot itself wasn't really teased. So I think
Well,
if it's Doom's
end of
Age
Age
of
of Ultron.
Yeah, but the start of Age of Ultron, we didn't get Ultron tease or anything like that tease leading into that whole plot of that movie. I know it was early on in the cinematic thing, but I don't, maybe a post-credit that kind of hints at it, I think is a fair expectation, but I'm not expecting the Fantastic Four movie to set up Doomsday. Yeah, that's my.
Just
I
a
didn't
hint.
expect
Give me
it.
something.
Wait, well, time out. I do expect a little bit. I expect some kind of incursions or universe or multiverse, the bridge being built. I do expect things to be important for Doomsday. But I also don't expect the Doom thing that you're talking about, which I've also come to terms with. I'm kind of pissed off about that. I kind of wish they would. Doctor Doom should be the main villain of a Fantastic Four movie. It's Fantastic Four. Yeah. Granted, Galactus is an amazing main villain also. But still, if Avengers 5 is your next movie and Fantastic Four is the one prior, and you're still not gonna, I think you should have Doctor Doom as at least a side villain there. But you're also right, Russo
You don't want to do too much though, too.
You don't want to do too much. Yeah, it's just I don't know.
He needs to be post-credit scene.
That's fine least, too. Yeah, you know what? But yeah, at least, dude. If he's not a post-credit scene, I will be disappointed if I don't see Doctor Doom at least for 5 seconds in this movie.
Well, JD, you kind of mentioned something. If the main thing of Doomsday, like if a big part of that is incursions, then we actually have been getting hints at that over the last 4 or 5 movies towards this. Okay. Not Doom, but the incursions themselves. Like
the Infinity Stones from Thanos.
Exactly. So I think it's low key. It's just Doom is the big shakeup.
Well, Doctor Strange movies.
Yeah, and they got a mix-up in between. It was supposed to be Kang, now it's Doom, so they're fucked.
Yeah,
it's kind of they're just in a corner.
I heard they're still gonna close that loop too. I feel like we're gonna actually see that Council of Kings get destroyed.
So sick if we got that. Just for
I think we're gonna get it.
Satisfaction now. Let's see it, man.
Well,
that could be the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four, honestly.
All right, we all agree Doctor Doom has to be more menacing than Thanos, scarier in some way. And what did Thanos do? His first action scene on screen was tearing apart the Asgardians and beating the shit out of the Hulk.
Yep.
So how are you got to top that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I like, even at the post-credit, it would be stepping it up. Like if Fantastic Four, and then you get a post-credit, and we just get Doom's mask. It zooms out from being zoomed in on Doom's mask, and then he's at the Council of Kang, tears him up, and then walks off and says something Doom-like at the end. And it's like, that was a post-credit scene? Like, that would be, put it back on the map.
And he says, prepare for my Doomsday.
Yeah, God.
Well, never mind.
Doomsday time. Shit.
All right.
We'll see, though. We'll see.
Let's move on to our favorite fandom these days, Star Wars. There was a little surprise, like Star Wars likes to do, with no marketing. No marketing or teases. Tales of the Underworld, our third series in the Tales of the. And we have, I don't know, it didn't say exactly how many episodes. I'm wondering if it's 4 or 6. I know they're pretty short. They're like 15-minute episodes. But we have Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane. Kind of both of them getting revenge on former people in their lives. So I was pleasantly surprised. I love Asajj Ventress, of course. I was hoping it would be the Dark Disciple storyline, but it's not. There's no, what's his name? Help me out here. What's the Jedi's name?
Sorry, you froze there for a second.
Quinlan Vos. There we go.
You did freeze.
But it's still good because obviously it's post Dooku. It's post Clone Wars, post her as Dooku's apprentice, and then we have Cad Bane taking revenge on someone else. So how do you feel about this, Dave?
Yeah, dude. I love that they didn't announce it. I love that we just got hit with the trailer randomly. I missed that, dude. I missed that. It wasn't, hey, we're gonna have one of the coolest Star Wars trailers dropping tomorrow. It's gonna blow. Like it just came out of nowhere. It was dope. It's not quite Tales of the Sith, which I'm still waiting to happen, but we are getting very close. And I love it. I love Asajj Ventress. I love Cad Bane. The trailer itself, I really like the tone of it. It felt heavy. It felt just like what you would want this show to feel like. It is a 6-episode series, so we're probably going to get 3 of Asajj, 3 of Cad Bane.
It's like an hour each.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, pretty much. A little special presentation for each one of them. But dude, yeah, I think it looks great. The lightsaber action, it looked pretty sick. I like this little stage of Asajj Ventress' story that we haven't got a lot of stuff fleshed out with. So I think it's cool. I think it's great news.
Yeah. I like that it was dropped randomly. I love that. But dude, I just don't freaking care about the filler Star Wars anymore. I don't. I know it's going to be sick, like watching it, and it's going to be like the best Clone Wars episode, except it doesn't matter. Somehow Clone Wars still felt like it mattered a lot too. Like it felt like an important moment, movie, whatever. I mean,
yeah.
Something about all these other things, they're fun to watch, but I don't care. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know.
It's because we don't have movies. We need a good movie, and then if you drop a badass movie and then Tales of the Underworld comes out, you're like
to watch that shit.
Yeah,
you need
right,
to
exactly.
because you're dying without Star Wars.
Exactly.
If they canceled this like tomorrow, I wouldn't be heartbroken at all. I'd be like, well, that's a bummer. But I feel like I trust them. So I really like the Count Dooku stuff we got out of.
It was sick too.
I don't even remember what it was called. Was that Tales of the Jedi still? And it was just Count Dooku's Jedi?
That was Count Dooku and then Ahsoka.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm just here for it, especially because I wasn't expecting anything. So just being like, oh, cool. We got, 3 dope episodes with Asajj coming out. Oh, yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, the pessimism is just from Star Wars itself as a whole.
I feel you.
I loved Tales of the Jedi was sick. It honestly was, and I feel like this will be really cool too. But
straight up,
something about it was just like, God, dude, I want something new and fresh. I want a new Star Wars story.
You want a Rey movie?
Freaking bad.
Oh God,
honestly,
you want a fucking
dude,
Rey movie right down your throat.
Sure,
right?
A new Rey story. I don't care. Sure.
And while we're on the topic, I've been checking Fandango every day. Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary isn't playing anywhere near us. And it comes out in 3 weeks. What are we doing? Nowhere in Sacramento or Folsom. What's going on?
We only got one of
Regal.
17 IMAX theaters in the freaking country here, but by all means, don't put Revenge of the Sith on there. That would be horrible.
If it doesn't show up, I'm going to be extremely disappointed because I want to see that movie in theaters one more time.
Yeah, I kind of gave up. I don't think it's going to show, but
it's wrong because
Tales of the Underworld in less than a month.
But I saw Phantom Menace and Return of the Jedi. They did both of those.
Yeah. No, I know. It don't make any sense to me why it's only one theater all the way out in Colfax, but or Grass Valley, but whatever.
It's wrong.
Just I think it was one of the best Star Wars trailers I've ever seen, period, dude. It's like, you already know it's going to be so well written and mature. More for adults than other Star Wars. You could argue, whatever. But also, in Season 2, they added so much, bang, dude. There seems like we heard about the production value, but also it just looks cinematic and wow.
A movie a week.
And with that writing that we already know is coming, that's going to be high quality, man. This is exciting.
Dude, like you said, love 3 episodes every week. We're getting a movie a week. That's incredible. And so the first trailer that dropped, I thought it was cool. It looked good. I didn't blow me away. But the most recent one that just came out, I just was like, oh, I need that now. It looks incredible, dude. I cannot wait for this. And it's so nice that it comes out the week after Daredevil ends to kind of soothe that pain. As soon as Daredevil ends, we just know Andor is coming with 3 episodes the following week. So, God, I cannot wait.
And there were some details from Tony Gilroy. He said the events of the Gorman massacre span 5 episodes. I think that's what this season is going to start with.
Do you know what that is? Sorry.
I think it's in the book, one of the books, right?
It's Tarkin. So Tarkin just wipes out I forgot how many people
Spoiler
it was,
alert.
but it was just it's a famous battle in which there was just almost a genocide committed by Tarkin.
5 days of a massacre? Sounds...
No, 5 episodes.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, still.
No, the massacre was probably
Crazy.
longer, I think.
Longer than that, probably.
But it's like a bunch of activists or something. It's one of those just brutal, it wasn't a military battle. It was
pre-Death Star being completed massacre.
Yeah, Trail of Tears type deal with American history, horrible massacre
Wipe them out, take the land.
It's definitely going to be really easy to portray the Empire as pure evil in this season because that's a pretty gnarly event.
Tarkin of all people, too.
Yeah, so I have to wonder, is he in it?
I was going to say, yeah.
Right? Are they going to go down that path again?
They just had the legal issue.
I feel like, They shouldn't do that again.
Oh, God. They probably won't then. So it's probably going to be maybe Krennic, just proxies for him the whole time, and he just mentions Tarkin's orders, stuff like that. I don't know.
And Gilroy says, if I don't make you cry, I will be very unhappy.
Good God.
He says Rogue One cameos have to be organic. There's nothing we're bringing in for fun or just because somebody wants to see it. So every cameo will have a reason behind it.
Stop yelling at us, man.
I didn't think he was ever.
Oh, I still forgot to watch that. I gotta go back and watch that trailer.
No excuse.
And like we said, the release schedule makes it feel like a movie a week. The script will never release online due to AI. why help the fucking robots anymore than you can?
I like this guy.
And he has no plans to make another Star Wars project. So I feel like that kind of makes sense, where this is kind of a passionate project of his. He doesn't want to be tied into a universe. He's going to go off and keep being creative.
He knows how this shit works. Give him one
Right.
movie, they're going to do a good one. But if you give him a second, they're going to fuck it up somehow.
Right, exactly.
Damn. I wish I stopped reading about that Gorman's Massacre when I did.
Damn it.
Or when I didn't. But it's not. I'm not going to spoil it. But I'll just say it's not exactly what I remember reading about it. But anyways, move on.
What book is it again? Is it?
They
I don't
eradicate
know
like
that
a
it was in
species of plant.
Is it the?
No, people get killed, but it's just a different scenario. It's not
Plant
a 5-day deal.
Swamp
that's
Thing?
for sure,
No,
but
please.
Is it
don't
like the
tell me
Princess
Swamp
Leia
Thing.
book?
I don't know that I read it in a book. I think I watched a YouTube video on it a while ago or something. Let me see. Appearances, Star Wars book, Pilots of the Rebel Alliance, no, Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. Yeah, it's not really in a book. Yeah, just a bunch of like historical guides and stuff.
All right. Well, let's move on from Star Wars, as we will, of course, be covering all of Andor. And we'll go to DC. There's no lightsabers in Andor, Dave. Chill out. All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
DC, we got a Superman 5-minute first look. So this was also showed at CinemaCon. I chose not to watch it because
I wanted to. You're stronger.
I don't know, I feel like I've seen the trailers. I don't want to get more spoiled. I'm already like all in for this movie. I think it's going to be good. So I don't want to see more. So JD, how did you feel about this? Was it too much?
The only thing that was too much, man, was some humor from a droid. There was humor that felt like James Gunn pushing humor, and it's something we're all freaking worried about. Every one of us is worried about the Superman movie having too much humor. That's scary to think
Compared
about.
to Zack Snyder, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, complete contrast. Overall, super confident. And no. So overall, I loved that 5 minutes, man. It's just that droid making a joke about, he looked at me, seemed so stupid, right after another droid just made a point how not human he was. And then this
We have no
overly
emotions.
human droid makes a joke, and it was just like, what? That was kind of funny what the first droid said. You literally ruined it.
Yeah.
It. And not only did you ruin a good joke, it's scary that we're dealing with this kind of humor. It's just one little gripe, right? Just a couple seconds. But like the Fortress of Solitude just had me going, man. I absolutely was giddy. And the way they used the sun to power Superman up, I thought was so cool and sci-fi and weird and unexpected. Just a weird aspect. I never really, you don't consider that kind of stuff being a part of Superman. I thought it was really cool. So I felt like a freaking kid watching it, man. I was, it's pretty much like the amount I expect to like the movie. Even if it is that humor. If the movie's that good and there's really annoying humor in that same ratio to that 5 minutes, I guess I'll be okay with it, I guess. It'll just be annoying. But no, it's good, dude. It looked very creative and sci-fi and different, special, unique, and all that good stuff, man. And like it just looked cinematic. It looked very like I can't wait to see it in a theater and just experience this. It looked like it will be an experience.
It does look like an IMAX type visit would be a cool watch for it because it looks cinematic, like you said. I love the sun thing. Yeah, it makes. We haven't seen like concentrated magnified sun like that. He always just flies out into space and or gets tossed into the sun to heal. It's like, yeah, that actually. So I was not going to watch it until you made comments about it. And then my curiosity got the best of me. I was like, screw it. I'll throw it on. I don't think it gave away too much at all. It really didn't feel like it gave much more away than the trailer already did. It just kind of gave it a little bit extra stuff. But I will say that this Fortress of Solitude and the logo on the door was dope. The sun thing was cool. I really liked that. Outside of that, it almost made, and I'm still excited for it, but it almost took some of my excitement away watching the 5 minutes. The one thing, the whole crypto saves him comes off as a very dark and serious moment in the first trailer. And then it expands on that in this, and it turns into a straight up kind of laugh fest with the dog just playing around with him for like a few minutes and stomping on him. And he's kind of, oh, stop, crypto. Oh, he's kind of jumping around. I was like, okay, good Lord. It's a little much. The robot thing was a little much, so yeah, I do have that concern of I think there might be a ton of humor in this. But yeah, all around, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. It made me think maybe Man of Steel is gonna be the only Superman movie I do like because I like that I love Superman. But no, I still think it'll be good. I haven't turned against it. But just overall, the 5 minute thing, it just didn't do it for me, personally. But I'm still excited for the movie. I am. I'm still excited. I'm definitely going to see it still. But I am concerned about the humor.
You're not out.
I am gonna buy a ticket. Whose movie is that? Is this JD's or Love? Is it mine? I don't
JD?
remember.
Oh, on the box office.
Okay.
No, JD has it.
I did, yeah,
There you
good.
go.
I got
Yeah.
my starting quarterback, even if... Nah, I believe in it. I do believe it.
Yeah,
I think
that
it'll
and
do
Jurassic
fine
Park.
box
This is your
office.
year.
Yeah. What
I
did
don't
you
know
think
about
Lil?
Jurassic Park? But
I didn't watch it. Remember?
oh
yeah,
yeah,
my bad.
classic.
You
'Cause
old
what-
daredevil,
after-
you.
After what you said, I had the opposite reaction of Dave, to where I was like, I don't want to watch it now because I like this movie and I want to like it, so I'm not gonna, watch
already
some
like it.
goofy
That
James
makes
Gunn
sense.
5-minute scene when
Yeah,
it's a 2-hour
No.
movie.
yeah. And it didn't add anything that you didn't see in the trailers, other than those two.
Right.
Crypto jumping around and the droids in the Fortress of Solitude were the only two things that weren't a part of the trailer itself. So
Well, I watched the first 10 seconds, and it's the beginning of the trailer where he's whistling, calling for
Right.
Crypto to come
but
get
right
him.
after that is when, instead of Crypto flying
Right.
him off, Crypto just starts jumping on him and licking his face and kicking him. And
Yeah.
Man.
See, I didn't want. I turned it off right before that, so I think I did good.
there you go.
That actually worked for me for some reason. I thought it was funny. Apparently, the dog's supposed to be a shitty, bad behavior dog, and that's supposed to be a theme.
Okay.
But that might concern you. That'll mean there's a lot more humor like that.
It's gonna be a comedic relief type deal, but yeah, that's
So
good to know.
hopefully,
But James
it's
Gunn's always great with the humor. It
He is.
always works.
kind of.
Yeah.
Guardians 2 is too
For the most
much for
part.
me. I think they're like Drax, all humor, zero importance, zero good action. He's a muscle man, and he didn't have a good action scene, and he's just jokes. Just Guardians 2 is the only one that was too much,
Even though I
Right.
love Volume 2.
and I still do.
Yeah,
I still do.
but
I still love it.
But you don't want that level of comedy
Superman.
in a Superman also
don't.
kicking off the
Right.
DC universe
Right.
reboot, But speaking of the box office, we do have a box office update for this year. Of course, I am the defending champion after our
Okay.
recount. Just to let everyone know. Captain America, not doing great. Sorry, Dave, to rain on the parade back to back right there.
Yeah, it's cool. Just keep slapping me.
410 million, which is probably about
410 worldwide right now.
Yeah, it was just probably 200 million
Damn.
under unexpected.
That
Everybody-
sucks. No, sorry.
Okay, hold on. We're breaking you down to build you back up
What?
because Minecraft opening weekend 300 million,
Wait, it's already
which
out.
it came out this weekend
Holy.
and it made $300 million dollars, which is insane, which is what I knew when you drafted it right before I wanted to pick it. It was going to be the steal of the draft. And
That was my second to last pick.
yeah, I know.
I could have sworn someone said it wasn't going to make money on this podcast, but that
I
might have
did.
been a different movie.
I wasn't excited about it. That's why it was my second to last pick. I was like, I guess I'll take it. It's one
Yeah.
of the best left, but I don't think it's going to do good.
300,000. How much did Infinity
300
War
million.
make on their first? That's what I mean. Yeah. Infinity War, though. How much did that make on its first
More
weekend?
than that. I think it made
It made like $1 billion or something. It was ridiculous.
yeah,
No,
it made some
on the
crazy.
first-
Yeah, it made some
Original-
crazy.
Wait, no, never mind. Hold on. Yeah, I'll check. Tune in.
But
A bill on the first
and-
week is
and
a
to
thing, dude.
and to also bring down the defending champion, my second to last pick, Snow White, which I didn't need it to make a lot as a second to last pick, but after seeing Dave's second to last pick, it made $148 million, and I think it's been 2 weekends so far. Which
It's made what?
148 million in 2 weekends, which is
More
half
than I
of what
expected.
Minecraft.
I
Yeah,
gave it
so I only-
240 total. That was my expectation.
Yeah, so if it makes 300, I'll be happy. If it makes 250, I'll be okay. But Michael Jackson. So I did draft the Michael Jackson movie because it was projected for 800 million. People have been loving those kind of biopics of musicians lately. Bohemian Rhapsody made a bunch of money. And it could be postponed to 2026, which will mean I might have to make a replacement pick, which will probably be F1, which releases in June. So we will keep you updated until then to see if maybe, because Michael Jackson movie releases in October, so it's already late as is, so it might be pushed to May, next year.
And just to remind the folks at home, if somebody has to replace one movie, each team has the option of taking out and replacing one movie that they have left. It can't be something that's already played, obviously, but each team will have the opportunity to switch after Lub picks his replacement for one movie. So stay tuned. And also, Avengers Infinity War, $630 million worldwide opening weekend.
Holy fuck.
It's insane. 50%
Actually,
more
you know what?
than Cap's made total.
If Michael Jackson gets postponed, I'll just take Avatar.
Okay.
You guys okay with that? You guys cool with that?
Okay, get this guy out of here.
Get this guy out of here.
Get him out of here.
All right, we have one last topic before we wrap things up, and it is a recurring theme. JD, what have you been watching, reading, playing lately? I know I've seen on TikTok you've been branching outside of fandom, reading some books.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to go there, shit. I mean, Unbroken is a crazy story about this dude who literally survived in the ocean for 30 days or something and then got captured by the Japanese and tortured. It's
Oh my god.
it's
crazy.
True?
Yeah, one of the craziest
He's an
books
Olympic
ever.
runner.
Yes.
Yeah.
USC.
Super good story.
Unbelievable. And the book is written like really well for a history kind of deal. I can't stop reading anyway. But then, some comics. Blade. Finally picked up a Blade comic. That's the last one I'll talk about there. Blade was fucking awesome. And it's the one that builds up to Blood Hunt, where a bunch of vampires attack. Very violent and gory and decapitations and limbs falling off. And just a fun classic superhero story. So Blade Volume 1, Mother of Evil, highly recommended. And Unbroken by Lauren Hillenbrand or something like that. Check it out.
Oh, yeah. Dave?
Sorry, by the way, Avengers Endgame, 1.2 billion opening weekend.
No way.
I don't believe you.
Are you
billion
That's
opening
not a
weekend
thing.
global.
Is it?
Record breaking, believe it or not.
I'm not going to check.
1.2.
Dave's our
Imagine-
Jamie, dude. I trust it.
Imagine being
350
Kevin
million domestic.
Feige that weekend. He went
Bro.
to Vegas and just fucking did it all. You know what I mean?
5 days they hit $1 billion. 5 days.
Man. Do you remember that
Fastest
trailer?
ever. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
God.
That was unbelievable.
Incredible. What a moment of time.
Tony on the ship.
Yeah, and the New York just a ghost town, and Cap hella depressed, and all that fun stuff. God,
So
that
good.
was amazing. All right, anyways, yeah, what have I been watching? I've been watching. So finished Severance season 2. A little disappointed by it. It was all right. I've been rewatching Sons of Anarchy. I'm already at the end of season 6. Been cooking through that one. Overall, really enjoy the show. It's definitely not as good as I remember it, but it's still a lot of enjoyable moments in it. I feel like I've been watching something else, but I kind of forgot. I've been bouncing back between a lot of stuff. I still got to watch Invincible and Creature Commando.
Oh, season 3 is supposed to be. People are raving
I
about
heard it's
season 3.
great.
Invincible.
Yeah, I got it. So I got to get on that. I'll probably start that tomorrow, honestly. But reading wise, well, me and JD been reading Charles Soule's Daredevil, which we'll be covering that shortly. But also, I'm still reading Dune Messiah, and I've got to say, I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I'm pretty disappointed. I got to say, it's fine. It's getting a little better. It took a while. The first third of it was pretty damn slow.
What's
and
the quality like, though, compared to the first book?
It just,
Is it?
you know what it feels like, dude? You know how Frank Herbert came out and said he wrote Messiah because he wasn't happy with the reception Paul got, because people saw him as a hero and that wasn't how he intended. It kind of feels like that. It feels like he was obligated to write the story just to show Paul in a light that he wasn't shown in. It feels like an obligation
He didn't
more than a
mean to make
passion
it.
project. Yeah, it kind of.
Right.
So there's a lot of it where it's just kind of like, I'm not that interested in this. And there's a lot of times, especially in the first third of it, where I was like, boy, I really would have preferred getting the events that happened right after the first book instead of jumping ahead 10 years in time.
Yeah.
I would much rather be reading about what happened right where we left off, dude. That was so interesting. We're getting into the Holy War. We're getting into this crazy stuff. And we skip forward 10 years in time after all the crazy stuff's done. And we're just kind of watching an empire dwindle.
Huh.
And it's not doing it for me. So I gotta say, I'm obviously gonna finish it. I'm curious for you if you do read it to see what you guys think. Again, there is some good stuff in it. There is still some quality lore, world building and stuff like you're asking there, Lub. Like there's some interesting stuff that pops up
Okay.
between Bene Gesserits and face dancers are a big play in here.
Okay.
Crazy plot twist that I won't say that ends up being a major part of the story, which you've probably heard spoilers here and there about.
I probably have, yeah.
But yeah, overall I'm disappointed. So we'll see.
Interesting.
But, yeah.
I'll probably wait till after the movie comes out then, because it has been sitting in my Audible.
I think now I'm going to be very excited with the movie because I think it's going to be way better than the book. So I think I'm
Yeah.
not worried about that aspect at all. So
That's good.
yeah.
Well, I've been waiting for this topic for a while because there is one show I've been binging lately, but I'll wait for a sec. So I have been watching White Lotus and Righteous Gemstones, and both great shows, but I do want to talk about Walton Goggins. He's just a great actor, and in those two shows, he plays two completely different characters, and me and my wife have been watching them both on Sunday nights back to back, so it's like we watch him play one character, then we finish that show, and then we watch another show, and he's a completely different person, so he's just been killing it.
Dude, he's amazing. Like, top
Assassin's Creed Shadow. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. Sorry, I mean, he's in Sons of Anarchy too. He plays a transsexual man-woman thing.
Really?
It's hard to tell. He kind of bounces back and forth between Vincent and Venus, which is why I say a man-woman thing, because he's literally it's shifting back and forth a bit. But he just plays it great, bro. He's such a good actor that it like you're immersed in this character. It's an incredible character for something you'd think would be a throwaway gag based on how they introduced him to the show.
Mm-hmm.
All to say, I'm with you. Walton Goggins is amazing. So, sorry.
Yes. He's one of my favorite actors now.
Yeah.
And then Assassin's Creed Shadows. I know people have been hating on it a lot on the internet, but I'm having a lot of fun playing it. So I turned, there's a thing where it's canon mode. You can turn it on or off. I turned it on, so it's, you play the story, like Star Wars canon, where you play the story the way they intended it. So I didn't get to play as the big black guy.
You can say it. It's not a curse word.
Man, we all wish we could just do that.
I know, right? That's what I was waiting for the whole time, but you have to wait a little bit, but I feel like it paid off. You get to play the story the way they intended. And the chick, she's pretty badass, I'll say that. So
looked like it. She looked like a savage from
she's
the trailers.
Cool. But what I've been waiting for is a show I've been binge watching. It made me kind of suspend my time on Daredevil Season 2 because this kind of took over for me.
Did it.
And it's X-Files. You guys ever? How familiar are you guys with X-Files? I know. It's so crazy.
Not what I was expecting.
I've been watching Supernatural lately.
Okay, hold on.
No way.
Have you guys ever watched it before?
Yeah, back in the day. I mean,
my mom watched it when I was a kid.
Isn't it conspiracies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of
I
it's like
like it, to be
kind of
honest.
tunes into real life.
JD, you would fucking love this show.
I probably like it.
So Fox and Scully are the two FBI agents, and it's kind of like they get a new case every episode. So it's kind of like a monster of the week or like a different kind of case they get. But Fox, the guy, is like super into conspiracy theories. And then Scully, the lady, is she's a doctor. She's just like a scientist. She's very straight by the books. But it's way ahead of its time with the conspiracy theories where like there's like an AI episode and it's like in 93. And it's like this AI robot that's like trying to take over and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? Like this really.
I've seen YouTube shorts clips from it where it's like, that was a top, like it is. It's deep rooted conspiracies from like the late 90s to early 2000s where it's like, oh, they addressed that conspiracy. I saw a few clips where it was, but I watched as a kid a little bit, but I don't remember anything other than the theme song.
Same. It's a top 5 intro song of all time.
It's pretty good.
But I went to like a couple rabbit holes, and there's a thing called the mythology arc, where like 80% of the episodes are like very episodic, but there's this kind of underlying storyline where there's this secret society called the Syndicate, and like the cigarette smoking man, who are like basically this secret government. No, he just like chain smokes cigs and he's this bad guy. Yeah. But right. But they're like the secret government agency that covers up all the like alien, crash landings and like assassinating foreign leaders, and like it's wild, dude. Like that whole storyline has really got me intrigued to where there's this like where Mulder is trying to figure things out, but this secret agency is covering things up.
Yeah, it's what 35 years now or something. It wasn't like
it started in like 92, I think. Yeah,
that's when I was born. Good lord.
That's why you could feel safe with these conspiracy theories that are so scary. They said that shit 50 years ago too, so that's why you could have fun with it and still feel safe.
Yeah, because he says like aliens are real, and everyone's like, "You're an idiot. You're a crazy person." And now it's like the fucking Pentagon saying that aliens
that's
are
scary,
real.
Though. They are real. It is still scary.
It's still scary.
JD's back to being scared.
I gotta go, guys. I got to build a bunker.
But yeah, great show. I'm on like season 4 already too. So and there's like 20 episodes a season. I skip a couple, but we've been going hard. Yeah, I know.
No, one other thing I'll say is Constantine. I have been reading his, and like I went back like a months ago. I downloaded this stuff on Kindle, and I'm just reading Constantine, and it's just faces and talking, page after page after page. I'm like, dude, where's the magic? Where's the demons? I don't like this. But I'm finally getting into it, and I'm reading it, and it's so good, dude. It's like the socio-economic commentary on the split of the working class and the ruling class that lack the empathy or understanding of the working class, yet they make the rules for the working class. And Constantine's like, this is the reason I got into magic, because of you fuckers. And he is literally all about anti-authority, and it's so fun, and it's very political, but in the best way possible, not in the shitty way. It's awesome.
Nice. Like thought-provoking, not shoving stuff down your throat like believe this politics-wise. It's just
It's not like 2025 politics.
It's
like
right. Yeah, it sounds good.
Awesome.
Wolfman. We tried to watch that shit. Sorry, but Love, I'm curious if you have seen Wolfman and what you think of it.
Who is in that? Isn't it?
It's
not
Julia.
no,
no,
is it on
that's the old
Netflix?
one. That's
It's
the
the
old
Ozark girl, the Silver Surfer girl,
one.
Julia Gardner.
Yeah. Julia Garner. That looks good.
Oh, is it a movie?
Yeah, it's out
Yeah.
now. You could. I think we rented it actually. Anyway, it's a horror. It's supposed to be really good. It's the same creative team behind The Invisible Man, the modern remake there, which was also really good.
That was very good.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've heard of it.
Did you watch it yet?
I fell asleep. So every show or movie goes pretty much.
Classic.
We're gonna
Dave
do it
Jr.
again.
over here.
But I was curious,
I know
horror.
you have kids.
You like
He's got
horror?
kids. He's got an excuse for falling asleep all the time. I just fall asleep.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for
Sorry.
this episode. Not
Sorry,
this
I was
yet.
late.
We have
I was
one
late. It
more
was
thing.
bad timing. No, it's not. It's about JD's thing. I was just gonna say. I guess with the Wolfman,
what?
the Benicio del Toro. Come on. I guess Benicio del Toro when he asked about Wolfman, because that was the last movie. Benicio del Toro was the Wolfman, and it's with Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins, and Emily Blunt. It's stacked. Just
Anthony Hopkins.
thought
Wow.
I'd throw that out there. I just saw that. It's a
Sicario?
stacked cast for the Wolfman. So
I didn't
Right?
see him in there yet.
Isn't Emily Blunt in Sicario?
yeah, her and Benicio are in that too.
She's like the main girl.
Anyways, sorry,
That's a
that
good
probably
movie.
wasn't worth interrupting you. Continue.
All right. We thank you for joining us, breaking down all the latest nerd news, rumors, trailers. You know we got it here, always bringing you this stuff. No one's listening. We're over an hour in.
No one sees you. That's for damn sure.
Thank you, and we will join you next. Thank you. We will see you next time on Why So City is a Nerd podcast.
Bill.
Cut and save.
No.